Hey guys, my name is Brent and we are at Cerro Gordo, California. Right now, I am on the backside of this former mining town overlooking Death Valley National Park. And this week, that's where I'm headed. I am headed back that way to try to find something called the End of the Road Mine. And this mine was told to me by a guy who's been coming up and exploring this area for 40 years. And he told me there's stone cabins, there's mine shafts, and there's all sorts of artifacts. The problem is, he hasn't been to this mine in over a decade, so his instructions were a little hazy, but that's what I'm gonna do this week. Take an adventure, try to find this mine. Let's hope for mines, cabins, and Levi jeans. This first day of the adventure, I basically had no idea where I was going. You know, I had some vague instructions, so I started down the backside of the property, going towards Death Valley National Park. All right, we're getting out here. Again, I wasn't given too many directions on how to get to this place, and it was quite vague, the direction I was given, but I was told at first I would get to a mine operation that had an open pit, which appears to be here. And then there's a wash over there. So I need to take the wash to another wash to take a right at this certain tree. And then apparently about a mile up the wash, I'm gonna come to a barrel, a steel barrel. And then from there, I have to walk straight up a mountaintop. And then at the mountaintop, I'm gonna come upon a campsite and maybe some mines. I guess I'm going that way for now, so stick with me. We're gonna figure this out, but this is pretty cool, like this little shifter and ore chute. But we're headed that way. There's our razor. So let's get back in this thing and continue to the end of the road mine. When people talk about Cerro Gordo in the 1800s, what they're really talking about is a collection of a dozen or so mines that together was known as the Cerro Gordo Mining District. And a lot of these mines were massive operations with their own hoists and smelters and many men working them. You know, and others were just small claims worked by a handful of guys. But they all shared a central point in Cerro Gordo's town core. You know, they all walked these same streets that I walk these days. You know, and over the years, the different mines would change names when the ownership changed, or run out of ore, or be abandoned, or dynamite shut. And others still were purposely obscured, you know? They would allow vegetation to overgrow and physically hide these things, or misdirect people based upon spoken myths and lore of mining. And so while I do my best each week to research the different mines in the area, sometimes there's no record of these mines in any of the official books. And so at some point, you have to listen to the stories of the people that have been around here and try to separate that fact from fiction. And in the high desert, there is a lot of fiction to wade through. I was told of this substantial mine by a guy who's been exploring these areas for over 40 years. You know, he's become a friend and someone I trust, so I was willing to dedicate a few days exploring. I have come upon a barrel, and I was told a barrel is a point to start hiking up, but I was told that there would be a road there. And here is a barrel on the left side, as it should be. No road. So I found a barrel, but unfortunately, that barrel was in the wash, and it could have been washed down there over the past, you know, decade since the person giving me the instructions had been there. And so that was an unreliable clue. I went further and thought I found a different barrel. This barrel seemed a little more promising, but I couldn't see any mines above it. So I kind of altered my plans, you know. I wanted to take this road that had established itself as far as I could go. Nothing, so we're moving on. So I drove it further and it hit a snowbank. Well, I may not be moving on actually. And so at that point, I figured, I'd come this far, I might as well hike. And so I hiked, and this hike was just to the middle of nowhere. The road completely disappeared. It had been washed out over the years. On top of that, I had snow, but there's still some cribbing visible, rocks that were stacked on top of each other. So I knew that at one point in time, humans had been coming this way. You look for context clues. So I saw the stacked rocks, I saw cut down trees, and after hiking about an hour or so, I started seeing more scrap metal and milled lumber, which means, hey, maybe there was this camp out here that I was looking for. Look at this. The sheet metal's turned into a tube. You think it's some type of ventilation or to send ore down? No matter what it is, there's obviously something up here. There's a water pipe or for steam for the tools. What in the world? I have no idea where we are. But I'm dropping a pin in the GPS. And I hiked up another 15 minutes to this small mine. And unfortunately, the mine didn't lead anywhere. But I remember as I turned to my right, I looked down into the wash and bam! Oh! Look at that! There's a cabin! My voice is cracking so excited. There's an old cabin down there. Oh! You see that? That is awesome! Man, I've been here for 2 years. I have no idea what that is. There's wash to go up? Why are they... The day's turning around. I didn't find a stone cabin, but that looks like an awesome little cabin down there. See it? When I was living in New York City, I taped a map of Manhattan to my wall, and I made it my goal to walk every single street in the city. So each day I would take the subway to a new part of the city, get off, and walk streets I'd never been to before. And then at night I'd come home, highlight where I'd been, and just think back on the day. And it just gave me this purpose and meaning to my free time. It led to some of my favorite moments from the city. And it connected me deeper to the city and my time there. Because exploration is how we better understand how the world fits together and how we fit within that world. And on a really micro scale, that's what I'm trying to do here at Cerro Gordo. I'm trying to figure out how all these mines fit together with each other and how I fit within all these mines. Each of these side adventures leads me to a new discovery. And this week definitely didn't disappoint. Well, folks, there it is. There's that cabin I saw from way up there. And there's all sorts of stuff around here. There's mattresses, there's huge ventilation pipes. I mean, there must have been a massive operation here somewhere. I'm wondering if it's up the wash further that way. I was miles from any established road. I'm like, at this point, miles from Cerro Gordo, which is already remote, miles from any geographic indicator. But there's this camp there, there's this visible sign of somebody's daily life. And it was amazing. It was kind of that surprise that I had set myself up for. I didn't know there was gonna be a cabin, but to see that was beautiful. What does it say? Some super creepy sign on it. Look, there's another engine over there. There's just stuff everywhere. Look, it looks like the cabin used to be much bigger and it's fallen down. That's so cool. I've actually never found a cabin that I completely didn't know was there, And unfortunately, the sun was going down, so it was time for me to head back on my hike. I had a couple-hour hike back to my Razor and then a long drive back to Cerro Gordo. And so I left the cabin, but the cabin didn't leave my mind. Okay, I gotta tell you, I have been thinking a lot about this little cabin that I found off in the middle of nowhere. And so today, I have a free day, and my goal is this. I wanna go and restore it to the point where it's comfortable. It's kind of the ultimate getaway, you know, it's the hideout. If my writer's cabin is a hideout of the hideout, this is the hideout of the hideout of the hideout. And so I'm thinking is, I got enough other projects going on, so I can't spend that much time on it, but I'm gonna collect tools, and I will spend one day on it. That's all I can give it. So in one day, I'm gonna see how renovated I can make that little cabin to the point where if I need to, I can get away and go spend the night in it or something. So for now, what I need to do is I need to pack up my gear. I need to pack up some tools, and I need to hit the road. Well, sun isn't even out yet, and we're loaded in. Trying to get a full day out there, really renovate this place well. So we're headed over there. You can't even see where I'm pointing because it's dark. So we got the tools, got the shovel, some water. I'm gonna keep packing in, grab a cup of coffee, and then we're off. We are headed over that way. Hopefully we'll see a beautiful sunrise and a sunset. Wow, hello again. Good to see you, Kevin. How you been? You ready for a little facelift? Cause hey look, my table's still there. So, that was a hike. So here's the plan. What am I gonna do today? Clean this out, get some new wood up, put some more wood over there. Okay, so cleanup took a little bit longer than I thought because there's just piles and piles and piles of stuff on top of each other. But now, if you look in here, don't get me wrong, it's not clean, but it is at least cleaner. I don't love cleaning up the rat stuff because there's hantavirus and things, so I'm gonna take a break from cleaning, you know, the final little bit of poop, because if you look here, roof's leaking. So I think as far as priorities, I might just put like a plastic tarp over this so I'm not breathing in any mouse poop dust. And there seems to be a decent amount of sheet metal around here. So what I'd like to do is put sheet metal on top of the wood roof that we has now, just so it's a little bit better, and then close up anywhere that's not closed up. So obviously close up there, close up there, close up there, and then, you know, start putting a facade back on. That'll be the most fun part. But I think first priority is, you know, stopping that drip. Even though it's not supposed to rain, I just feel like that takes more priority right now than, you know, facading it and making it look pretty. Because I want to find wood like this, you know, I want to find old, kind of brownish wood. And there's just something beautiful about bringing old buildings back to life and reusing, not replacing. You know, there's obviously plenty of material around here. And so that's what I try to do everywhere at Cerro Gordo, is just reuse as much of the stuff as I can. One, it's greener, you know, I'm not having to buy new stuff. But two, it just gives it a character. You know, when this cabin's done, it's going to have all sorts of character. I mean, it already does. Obviously, people have been putting their own touches on. You see this wood that they just didn't even cut. And then over there, the different pieces of metal to fill in holes. And then that chimney. And you can see it's been added onto over the years. And so that's what gives the characters. I think that's what gives an individual building character, but that gives what gives the town character and what gives a city character. You know, that's why everybody's in love with those old cities in Europe. You think of some place like Rome, it's beautiful because there's obviously additions over hundreds and hundreds of years, and it just provides a variety and a context and a character that you can't get if you built all the buildings right at once. I was able to collect a decent amount of sheet metal. So I am going to get up there, put it on the roof, but I also realized I don't have a ladder, so I need to fashion some type of ladder to get me up there and hopefully not ruin my day. So now, ladder, sheet metal on roof, close up the other stuff. It's gonna be a big day. It's gonna be a lot. I'm only gonna dedicate one day to this right now, and this will probably just be a project over the coming months, honestly. If I have a day away from my other projects, then I'll be able to come out here. But right now, let's talk, let's get that up there. You know, if I was in a job interview 5 years ago, someone's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't think it would be sitting on the roof of an ancient building with this as my secure line, rebuilding it for no other reason than I want to stay here. It's even further away than my ghost town, but that is what it is. I'm gonna finish this up. I gotta secure those ones in, secure this one in, and we're gonna have a water resistant roof. I don't fall off in the interim. Beautiful though. It's getting hot. There it is. Half the roof done. Now he's gotta go over here, because if you look over here, whoa, we got stuff like that. Whoa! All right, so the roof is where it's gonna be today. If you walk in here now, no more light coming through, which is big. I'm gonna put down the plastic sheet so there's somewhere to camp. Those leaks will stop because now, no holes. And I wanna patch this. I wanna fill in this wall. We'll leave that window for now. So, before taking off to find the mine, I'm gonna fill in that little corner there, set up the tent so I don't have to do too much when I get back, and let's see. Look at that, no more hole in the side of the wall. We got a roof, we got a full wall, and this thing's starting to come together. Needs a lot of cleaning that I'm not gonna do today, so I'm gonna put this plastic tarp over all this. I don't have to deal with cleaning up anymore for a little bit. There's plastic all over the disgustingness. Yes, I'll one day have to clean it up, but for now, I feel like a roof, a wall, let's get that final wall up. That'll be enough for the day. This kind of looks like a murder scene now, unfortunately, but you do what you can. All right, that's gonna have to work for a back wall for tonight. It's basically just to block the wind anyways. Let's set up this tent. Probably got about 2 hours. Less, hour and a half, and I'm gonna walk up this wash. I was hoping to fly my drone up the wash and do a little scouting for me, but on the walk over here this morning, the drone decided to crash itself once again. So for now, RIP drone, no flying. That's why you haven't seen drone shots of me on the roof. I thought that'd be a beautiful shot. Drone shot of me on the roof. No. Crashed. So, we have to do it the old-fashioned way, hiking. Let's find this mine. I know it's here. Let me look at all this stuff. There's all the telltale signs of mine. Maybe 10 minutes in, barrel, can. They've got to be washing down from somewhere. So where, oh, where are they? Will I find it tonight? More signs. Massive timbers. I mean, the thought of getting these up here is insane. It's almost like there's a tramway back here, which would be amazing. Look, cut tree, sign of humans. Oh, is that like an oil can? Like an oil can? Oh, like a machine. An engine? What is this? Oh, it's a car. It's a truck. There's wheels on it. What is this? Somebody that's better than mechanics, tell me what this is. And how did it get up here? And where was it going? Oh man, now the plot thickens. Belt's still on it. That's crazy. Spark plugs are still in there too. Well, let's keep going. You know, the benefit is this. If I don't find anything tonight, because I run out of sunlight, at least I have a base of operation now. And next time, I don't have to spend the whole day getting the place ready. It's ready. And I can just spend the day walking up this wash, seeing what's out there. This is a bit of a steep little wash we got going on. I feel like this is it. I feel like this is my entrance. Platform of some type. I am in the middle of nowhere. Huh. Nothing there, but the ventilation shafts are there. Man, all the signs are here. Where, oh, where are you? So I came up to this side, and you can kind of see that tube going all the way up the mountain. I don't know if it's a ventilation tube. I don't know why they would ventilate that much. So maybe it was for water or ore or something else that I'm not thinking of. But what I did notice is, you know, this is kind of funny. So if you look, once upon a time, maybe this wash was actually a road. There's a mine here, and it seems like the road ends. So maybe after getting turned around and lost, this is the end of the road mine. And I just can't see it because of all this snow. It doesn't have those stone cabins that I was told about, so I'm not convinced. But for me, this is my end of the road mine. my road has ended today. This is an exploration for another day. That's a steep hill. I don't have that much light left. And I can't wait to one day try to describe how to get here to a young whippersnapper and see them get lost and discover their own end of the road mine. Back down the wash we go. Want to get back instead of a fire before it gets dark. What have we got? Bucket on our hands. Ah, just a regular old bucket. Any treasure inside? Hey, look at that. Oh, that's cool. Ha! I was joking, but look at that. You see what these are? Ha ha! Surprise! These are drill bits. There's a ton of them in there, look, of different sizes. Drill bit, drill bit. Oh, no way. Yes! Look how many there are. Tons. There's probably like 50 of them in there. Look at that. That one's sharper. Drill bit. So they were drilling, they were blasting. Look at that. You know, had I not made this little walk on the water, I'd given up. I was done. I was done for the day. I was talking about how, you know, no matter what, you're still blah, blah, blah. Now we got drill bits. And to you, these may not be exciting, but to me, they are very exciting because that indicates that there was some serious mining up here and serious mining very close to where I am. Maybe I was looking in the wrong place. Look at all these. That's treasure to me. What's going on up there? See, now I'm curious. Now I'm pumped up again. Now I got energy for days. Started before the sun even came up today. Day's not gonna end until the sun goes down. That's how I like it. Especially when you're doing stuff you love, right? Oh, now, perfect, boom, yes, yes. You'll see why I'm excited in a second. So, just above us, we found drill bits. So you wanna know a little bit about mining. This would be the drill. So, come on. Oh, it's a long one. It's been in this wash for a very long time. Beat it, tree. I got things to teach people. See how at the end here, it's got that. It's because this was a drill. So you see how long it is? Now I'm 6'2". This drill bit is 2 feet ahead of me. So this might be 8 feet long. So what we would do is, this would go into the rock like so. Back here, this would attach in, and then you're drilling into the rock, right? So then you have this long opening. Then you pack it in with dynamite. Throw a stick of dynamite in there, pack it. You want to pack it because you don't want it to blow out. You want it to blow in and get more rock. So imagine throwing this stick of dynamite back in, packing it, boom, then it explodes. Then you have rock like this. And then the guy who collects the rock is called a mucker. And so they go and they muck it, take out the rock, and then again, drill with one of those bits. Drill in, dynamite, boom, blow up. What do we got? This is a Sandvik Cormant Swede drill. Guys, it's a good day. You know, I was turned around, different perspective, new treasure. Ah, yes. Home once again. Home with a new roof. That's gotta help the appraisal. Oh. It's just such a beautiful feeling coming home after a day doing what you love and to finally sit, take off your boots. I mean, we've all felt that before, you know, you come home from a long day of work and you finally can just relax. I remember my first 2 jobs. I was a paper boy and I worked at Honey Baked Ham. And my paper route I had to do on rollerblades because I wasn't old enough to drive. I remember coming home from that every day, I was just, you know, finally the day was done and I knew I had given it my all. But it's not quite the same feeling as doing something you loved, you know, because I didn't love delivering papers. I was doing it because of my job. But it's probably my most favorite feeling in the world is just exploring all day, coming back home, and being able to reminisce. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit right here and I wish 2 things for you this week. I wish more surprises in your life. I hope you get out there and figure out a way to find more interesting things, whether that's going to a park you've never been to or hiking, anything. And I hope at the end of that day, you feel exhausted in the best way possible, much like I do right now. This was a before sunrise day for me, so I'm not even sure if I'm making sense anymore. So I'm gonna call it at that, and I'm gonna say this. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I will see you all next week. It's rough. Oh, I can't even stand up.